Turn off the AirPods I've got in my ears. That wouldn't work very well.
I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah, thanks, Siri. I don't understand either sometimes. Let's see if the YouTube stream is running smoothly like we wanted to. Modify the settings because we're going to turn on advertising here. A free ad stream is only available for the Discord members, also without a delay. Stream settings, that's set to 1 minute. That's all good. All right, let me copy the link. And let me also start streaming here on Discord. New York session, day 3 of 66. I'm in a good mood today. You're gonna see why in a few seconds. Share the screen. Good morning, Agent Smith. Our trade from the London session is running nicely in profit. We've already secured $500, or let me actually check here. I took it also on my Apex funded account. One of them at least. Account summary. No, not this one. This one is already funded, or at least past the threshold. This 25k account as well. I've passed that within one trade. And account summary, total PL 278.5. Quickly gonna do our job here. And I secured right here once we cleared the Asia session high. It's a funded account, and I really didn't want to see it go back to break even or lose. It's, guess, my mistake. All right, let's get started with the journaling. Because that's what we need to do. So for the Apex 50k Live 4 account, we add a, come on, 287.5. I think that's what it said. Am I correct? Trade of 8, 278.5, yeah. 278.5. Yes, one, we went long. Let's put our screenshot in here. Session London setup pattern 2022 setup with a early exit for me on that funded account. That's pretty good. That goes to the Apex Live 2022 model during London Kill Zone live stream on Discord. We add the trade, and that's all done. Doing some nice profits here on the funded account. The trade day account, we secured $100 during this morning's live stream, and we're about to take out or make some more profit. I've also got a new take profit trader 25k account challenge going with the new promotion they have running. If we take a look at take profit trader, they have a Black Friday offer where they now have a 50% discount, and you get an extra account for free once you're funded. So if you sign up for a 150k account, I think it's logging me in here, you get an extra 150k account once you're funded. It's pretty cool. Use the code 50 and free, or simply use my code in the description box below, AZ Trading, to support the free live stream here on YouTube. There are links for all the future funding firms I'm trading with in the description box below. Take Profit Trader, Apex, and Trade Day. Yeah, and let's watch the trade at our Take Profit target. We're up $400. This is the Take Profit Trader account. We only need a profit target of 1,500 for the 25k challenge. already doing a very good job at that. Let me pull up Discord and make sure we share that. For the funded account, it wasn't really worth the risk holding it after taking out the Asia buy side. The last 2 days have been a little bit tricky, especially during London, where we took out sell side before we made the run. But for the funded accounts, I don't really care. It's either a win or loss on them. And especially with the Apex funded account, you have a intraday trailing drawdown. At this point in time, we were already up like $300. I secured right here on this candle, I think at 4397.75. Simply because, yeah, if I let it go back to break even, I lose $300 off my margin. Even though it didn't came back to break even, it's just the way I do it. We entered right here based on the 5-minute market structure shift down here. We had a 5-minute bullish share value gap overlapping nicely with a 15-minute bullish share value gap and a breaker block. I see Ulrich is also in here. He secured some nice profits as well. 6.5 points, correct? Eventually, I got you convinced that it's a decent setup. That's worth taking it. We took it yesterday, so there we go. 6.5 points. Let's go. I know you were on the fence when we were streaming in the morning. I mean, we still have to chat here. The setup was the many upper wicks before the MSS, and then the volume imbalance. Still have to learn. Have to spot more of these setups and collect more data. MSS and Baker Block are valid. And once I ended the stream, maybe started contemplating and might still be a good setup. I think you got a good entry down there. Type reading. Entry on this candle. The volume imbalance. Perfect. That's why I had my first limit order initially as well. But I moved it up just to make sure I get filled. Almost hit our take profit target. Let's go. YM already took out the previous day's high. Nasdaq is also pushing to the upside. Previous day's high on Nasdaq is a little bit further away. We swept this low right here, the 6:05 a.m. low on NQ 6:05. Here we have bullish SMT divergence between ES and NQ. If you take a close look at that, but let's watch our take profit target being hit after having 3 consecutive losing sessions in a row. That really helps our account to get back up into or towards the break even. We could also move our take profit really to the previous day's high. It would surprise me if we wouldn't take that, but we keep it simple. It's a new challenge. We stick to our 2-to-1, at least for the challenges. Once we're funded, and we have different rules also with our take profit trader account, where we switch to a intraday basis calculated drawdown or live calculated drawdown. Then I would also make sure to secure, and don't worry about these 2 ticks up here. For the trade day account, now let's just wait. I think we should be pretty good. Taking a look at ES, if we take out the previous day high, that would be pretty cool. And from here we'd wait for a new setup. It's 8 a.m. We can actually open up our ICT all-in-one indicator and show the kill zone box for London now, because that session is done. London kill zone box, we retested the kill zone, the high. We have our previous week's high, previous day's high, New York midnight level, our VWAP, and all these things already on our chart, our London analysis, but we don't need that anymore. I'm gonna get rid of that. We have the trade, that should be good. We are inside our daily bearish volume imbalance, and missed our take profit target by 2 ticks so far. We will see. we will watch and see. If you guys have any questions regarding the setup we took during London, feel free to ask. I will be open to answer any questions now. Dirty Ryan checking in. Nice. Appreciate it, Dirty Ryan, even though you're one of our VIP members and you could watch it on Discord, really. But, well, make sure to drop in a like if you're already here. Boost the likes here for the live stream. What's Twitter doing? From heroin to hedge funds, how one trade changed my life. Oh, fucking hell. From heroin to hedge funds. That's a good catch, man. Gotta admit. But, well, I mean, it's a good change. You can pretty much compensate one addiction with the other. One kills you, the other one ideally makes you money. Tori, the cool trendline trader chick. Platinum futures, crazy what she's trading. But, I mean, yeah, good on you. Trend lines and all. Ah, come on. We missed our take profit target here, right at the 8 a.m. candle. We have Powell speaking at 9:15, so we want to put a friendly reminder here on our chart. 9:15, that's just before the New York Open. I think we will hit the previous day's high. I'm gonna let my stop loss down here. Don't want to get stopped out at break even. Read for the news. JP speaking. Vertical. Make that black. That's just bad luck. It also depends really on your entry. Like when you actually get filled. I mean, if you took the breaker block, like for example, might have been excited a little bit too early, but we will see. We don't care. I got filled right here on a little bit below the midnight level, but yeah, many other different opportunities like the volume imbalance down here. In this case, you would have already hit your 2-to-1. Like this, it would almost be a 3-to-1 risk reward. Let's check out what the DXY is doing. The DXY is now pulling back. Go to a 1-hour time frame. Lower prices on DXY should help us go up. We will see. We have these relative equal highs up here. Coming out of a bullish fair value gap. Ideally, we would like to see that break. We already took out yesterday's New York session highs here on the DXY. We're still inside the bearish daily fair value gap. We had a Asia session run, and now since New York started, we can draw in our London range. Like that. Go back up to the higher time frame. So London took yesterday's New York session highs. Asia trended, London trended, and pulled back into the range. We will see what's happening. Especially with Powell speaking later on. The ES daily time frame yesterday during the PM session, we hit the 50% of our entire downtrend starting July 27th, ending at 27th of October. Coincidence? Maybe the 27th is a magic number, enigma. But yeah, no, we saw this downtrend. Keep it simple, 50%. That's what we just hit yesterday. And so far we haven't had the biggest daily range. Here's our previous day's high, which would get us above the 50%. Relatively speaking, here on NQ, hiding the ICT all-in-one indicator for this time frame. We broke the trend line. Right here we had 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. We are above the daily volume imbalance that we spoke about here on ES. This is the same volume imbalance right here. If we turn on our main fibs on the NQ chart, you can also see that we are above the 50% of this high that we formed on the 19th of July here. And yeah, the low on Thursday, the 26th of October. So we will see what NQ wants to do today. If it simply wants to continue the rally after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight up closing candles. Every candle so far made a higher high and a higher low. That's pretty impressive. We'll see if that run can continue. We drop it down to a 15-minute time frame, and this morning during our London session stream, we mentioned the same possibility for NQ. Let me go to the 5-minute and turn on the ICT all-in-one indicator. Even though we don't trade NQ, we still know, yeah, its potential. I see some sort of trend line liquidity here, which is not cool for my long. 1, 2, 3 touches. And if we draw it like this, you can see that we're moving up on a line basically, which is usually taken rather aggressively. We cleared the Asia session high, we pulled back, had bullish SMT divergence, delivered one more time into a high. We have the new day opening gap also brought by us by the indicator, which has been respected during pre-Asia and during the Asia kill zone. We continued lower until we shifted structure right here. Those two up closing candles becoming our breaker block. Respected that beautifully, delivering into our buy side liquidity pool, being those two relative equal highs really. Afterwards we pulled back, swept some internal sell side liquidity, bounced off the midnight level paired with the VWAP, and made one more leg to the upside. Right now we're back to our opening price. Based on the daily candle, we will see let's turn on our London kill zone here as well. Really anticipated my take profit target to be hit. Missed by 2 ticks, it's unfortunate. Will I exit based on that now? I don't know. I entered on the 15-minute volume imbalance. Fair value gap, I mean, right here at the low of it. If I would have entered on the 5-minute volume imbalance, I would have already hit my take profit long time ago. Well, we really didn't take major buy side. We got rejected from a 5-minute or 15-minute bearish fair value gap right here. Well, I'm certainly gonna stop the trade at break even. We will see. Just bad luck then. Missed our take profit target by 2 points. Got me all excited. 15-minute bearish fair value gap. I still have high hopes for the previous day's high, but that might not come. We still got that daily volume imbalance here, and NQ is looking much weaker, further away from that previous day's high. YM has cleared that and now also started to dump lower, but we can close this chart. We do not need that anymore. Let's see if we have any questions on Discord. Coffee, fresh ghee. So that's actually a really cool promotion while I'm in a support ticket. A pretty cool promotion that Take Profit Trader has now going on. If you sign up for any account size and you pass the challenge, you get the same account again for free. So you basically buy one with a 50% discount and you get another one for free. It's pretty cool, pretty good offer. They have been creative with that, more creative than Apex with their 90% discounts. And keep in mind, if you watch the prop firm comparison on my YouTube channel, you can get instant payouts with Take Profit Trader. Pretty cool. That's their discount right now, their Black Friday promotion, 50 and free. Get 50% off for life and an extra account for free when you're funded. Yes, you have to pay the activation fee for both, but still, yeah, you don't have to spend money on the challenge. You get one for free after you passed. Let me turn on the Discord notifications. Let's take a look. Nice, I like that rejection. We're not gonna get scared out of the trade. The DXY is continuing to push up higher. We're now inside the New York session, but we won't draw this in. We have plenty of sell side below. We have yesterday's New York session low. We have today's Asia session low. We have the London session low from yesterday. We have the Asia session low from yesterday. So basically, yeah, starting out this week, we've been pretty bullish. We mentioned the order block and the displacement on the EU on Monday's live stream. Played out well. Actually, yeah, looks like right now at least, the low of the week. We spoke about the famous inversion head and shoulder setup. We spoke about the same thing earlier this morning on ES right here. And we actually, if we drop down to the 5-minute time frame, had a inversion inside a inversion. Right here, we drop down below the Asia session low once the indicator loads up. Yep. And we spoke about left shoulder, head, right shoulder for the scalp right here into buy side. And then looking at the bigger picture, we had another left shoulder being the Asia low, our head being this inversion head and shoulder setup after all, and our right shoulder. At the time we spoke about it, we wanted to see the right shoulder to be formed somewhere around this area where we formed our last left shoulder. We have our head below that. We have our neckline being, yeah, basically the Asia session high. We retested that neckline, and from here on we could likely expand into the previous day's high up here. And because the inversion head and shoulder setup goes hand in hand basically with the ICT 2022 model, most of the time at least. Sometimes you do not get the perfect ICT 2022 model on your charts when you see that head and shoulder setup. Sometimes, yeah, the conditions just don't align for the 2022 model. 1 hour time frame, open up with a bullish volume imbalance. Time is 8:23. Let's take a look at our order book. I did not know that there's a free bookmap stream here on YouTube. Where do we have that? Just type in bookmap, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Skip the ads. Let's take a look at our bookmap overview here. So we can see sell side liquidity at 4395. This really stands out. There's more sell side than there is buy side. If we look at the zoomed out version, still, let me take a closer look at 404.75, 205. If we have some like well-seasoned bookmap readers, feel free to share your stuff. the AIO VWAP is not plotting. Did you already refresh your trading view chart? Because, oh, upsala, I didn't want to do that. Get rid of this line. Because I updated the ICT all-in-one indicator to the UTC -5 settings, so you don't have to modify any of these time settings yourself. All you have to do is basically remove the indicator from your chart, refresh your chart by doing right click up here, reload the tab, and then go back to indicators, your invite only section, and add the ICT all-in-one indicator back to your chart. And then everything should work like it did before, really. We have a bearish fair value gap now here at the high with this sort of trendline liquidity. I don't really like that here on NQ. But, well, I could have also just stayed away and wait for my take profit target to be hit or my stop loss to be hit. But I decided to jump on the live stream. We have Powell speaking at 9:15. Any questions on YouTube? Check out our liquidity. More liquidity to be picked up below us, right at 4395. If we take a look at 4395, that comes in right here below the slow, but we might already get our push 4395, this area. 4403 would be the previous day's high if I'm correct. 4404, that's our next target with 160 positions short. 122, 102, yeah, we'll see. How many years of hard work? Well, I don't know, like many traders been doing this for a long time, and usually the first year or the first 1.5 years, depends on how lucky you are. Most of the time, you just doing nonsense, looking at it from a hindsight perspective, looking back at it, until I really, I don't know, I traded many indicator-based strategies. I really dove deep into the backtesting hole, and I wanted to have the perfect backtest before I ever trade. And then I started trading, and I realized, yeah, the perfect backtest isn't all that matters. It's more about, yeah, you executing, and that's when the struggle started. Then I dove deep into bots and algos until I realized, yeah, that it's, at least that's my opinion, or that's a lesson I have learned, that I think the best way to use algos or indicators is to, yeah, use them with human confluence. So basically human and machine working together is really what I would say works the best. That's why we have the ICT all-in-one indicator, or some of the other indicators with the that we use within the accumulation zone community, like the Scalper Pro. And yeah, most of the time it's not the trader, it's not the strategy that's not profitable. Even with a 30 or 40% win rate, depending on your risk reward, you end up profitable at the end of the month, but you just can't handle taking 60 losing trades out of the next series of 100 trades. And most of the time it's the issue of the trader not being able to execute the strategy flawlessly without any trading mistakes. And yeah, then I slowly started watching the 2022 mentorship setup. But initially, I don't know, didn't work out too well for me, gotta admit. But I also wasn't really disciplined and consistent with my entries. Yeah, and then, I don't know, it's a work in progress. There's really not a single thing other than, yeah, just being consistent. If you're not consistent, I know you can take some scalps here and there, but yeah, really that's what changed it for me, being consistent, showing up every day, accepting a loss if you get a loss, and or if you have a losing trade. Some people start revenge trading afterwards. We still bump into this bearish fair value gap. NQ, doing that same thing. What's the time actually? It's 8:25, so screw it. Let's just watch it. Let it play out. Our 2-to-1 is unfortunately all the way up there because I didn't catch a good enough entry, really. Looking at it with hindsight. 2-to-1 risk reward would come in right here, 2 ticks above our high. And my entry was right here. Already just 1 tick or 2 ticks below that. Our 2-to-1 ratio would have already been hit. So sometimes making a big difference where you enter, but well, you can't change it now. So we're just gonna sit through it. But I'm still thinking about that one single thing that made me profitable. It's not a single thing, it's just the overall process that every trader eventually will go through. Some traders take less time to go through these mistakes. I'm a type of person who makes a mistake and I have to make the same mistake for like 1,000 times. I really have to, land on my face, jumping out the window, before I actually learn that jumping out of the window is not a good idea, basically, when it comes to trading. Because, I don't know, I guess at the beginning, I'd also say what really held me back is my impatience to make money. Got into trading with the beliefs of, oh, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna be a millionaire, blah, blah, blah. But now, those things started to change. It's more about the process and simply take your setups, let it play out, and enjoy the journey, basically. If you make mistakes, that's normal, that's going to happen, that's inevitable. So it's a work in progress. Initially really struggled to get these Apex accounts funded. Nowadays it's the easiest thing in the world, and then it only gets down to, or you sort of realize that, okay, getting funded is just like, I don't know, climbing Mount Everest and arriving at base camp. I hope that makes sense. And you didn't reach the peak yet. But that's good. I mean, I didn't expect to reach the peak, but I kind of thought it's gonna feel a little bit different once you have that certificate. But in reality, it doesn't matter at all.
Stop NQ sell.
I'm quickly gonna fill up my water bottle, and then we're gonna talk a little bit more. We're back. This is... Don't really want to watch the chart right now. There's no 2022 model to engage on. So, let's just get to a few questions. Don't let green turn to red. Yeah, I can move my stop loss to break even. But no, I'm not going to. It's either a win or loss for me. It's that simple. Yeah, I don't know. And another thing that not really recently, but been doing for, let's say, the past 2-3 months, really, if you have your model and if you are consistent with it, then simply risk more in the challenge phase. I mean, there's no shame in the world blowing a $15 Apex account, really. There's no shame at all. Like, you don't have to be afraid to lose that account. I know it kind of, you sort of get attached to it, but in reality, during the challenge, it's only a demo account, paper trading account that you spend $15 on with the Apex 90% discount. And yeah, really, I don't know. For me, at this point in time, it feels like almost wasting time going through a challenge, building it up step by step, instead of simply, risking the entire challenge in one trade, or maybe over 2 trades. But I don't know, with Apex during the challenge, you do not have a consistency rule, meaning that you can simply wait for your setup to appear and say, we're on a 15-minute time frame, 2022 model, like this one we took this morning, basically. Right here, we get our market structure shift, we have our fair value gap, we enter, but instead of 1 contract or 2 contracts, the way we would do it on a funded account, we simply enter with 5, or with Apex, you can really enter 10 contracts if you go for the 50k challenge, and do that. And then your risk reward looks something like this. Let's say you enter right on the midnight. If you hit a 5-point drawdown, you're simply gonna get stopped out and you blew the account. And if you've hit a 5-point win, the challenge is passed. And with a solid model that has a decent win rate, you just buy 2 or 3 accounts. You may be gonna lose 2 out of 3. In the rare chance that you lose 3 out of 3 trades in a row, then you simply blew 3 accounts and you're just gonna get 2 more. With Apex and a 90% discount, it's really not so expensive, and I think it's acceptable and well, that's just from my perspective right now. Also responsible in my opinion. I mean, yeah, and then you just got the account funded, like I did with, okay, I'm not logged into my Apex right now, but with the other 2 Apex accounts that I have going on here on that account. Yeah, and then risk appropriately once you're funded. I wouldn't do it after you paid the activation fee, because that entire, I don't know, game gets a little bit more expensive, and also you have a 30% consistency rule once you're funded, meaning that if you request a payout, your biggest profit cannot account for more than 30% of your entire payout amount. It's fair enough, but yeah, during the challenge, it's like a little loophole that Apex has within their trading rules. If they simply add a 50% consistency rule, they could get rid of that, but they don't have a consistency rule, and why not use it? If you only spend $15 on an account, simply buy 2 or 3 or 4, and then you spend the same amount of money that you would spend with Topstep or Take Profit Trader or Trade Day, for example. And after 4 or 5 trades, there will be at least one, if you have a solid strategy, that wins, and you get funded. And then you can
Stop
start
and
trading
Q sell.
consistently
Seller
with
sweep
proper
and
risk
Q.
management, like you usually would, to get the payout, because then it actually really matters, and you didn't spend 2 or 3 months just to get the account funded. That's at least the approach that I would use again for these Apex accounts. Yesterday, I think, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday I bought 3 25k accounts, because I really wanted to test the 25k accounts. You only have to reach a $1,500 profit target with Apex, and you have a $1,500 margin. And I'm not sure where I entered, but somewhere around this area. with 4 or 6 mini contracts, whatever that maximum position size is for the 25k account. And yeah, I got my model, I had my fair value gap, take profit target was hit. I think I had 2 accounts, and on one account I went long and the other account I went short, just in case that the setup is going to fail. I'm at least gonna win one account, the other one's gone. So I lost $15. It's not the end of the world. And yeah, if you get your first payout, yeah, you will forget about these $15 expense, basically. That's all I'm trying to say. But of course, once you open that door to, like, I don't know, sort of gambling, you want to make sure that you close it immediately afterwards and you don't do that silly stuff on your funded account. It's really not worth it. And yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about that approach? So if you struggle, simply, yeah, I don't know. If you have a fixed rule-based strategy and you know that you have a win rate of at least 50% and you see a good setup, I mean, I wouldn't do it on the account that you worked very hardly for to get up to a specific account balance. I would go to get a fresh one once Apex has a 90% discount again, pass it within one trade, and then for the other 6 trading days that you need before you get funded, simply do micro executions. Let me check, let me log into my Apex here. That's what I've been doing on that Ethernet account summary. If you click on here, you can see that the PA account and the other 50k account, that's also already above the profit target. I traded 6 days. Today I made a profit of, no, it doesn't show me, but I've only been trading micros afterwards, basically. And once I'm funded, I'm using appropriate risk management to get out of it. So today I already had a micro execution on the 25k account and a micro execution on that 50k account. So tomorrow when I wake up, I get an email from Apex telling me that I have to pay my activation fee. Then I already have the second account funded on this Apex account, and take it from there. And once Apex has another 90% discount, I'm gonna do the same thing. Not waste time trying to get the challenge passed step by step, simply by 2 or 3 challenges, take a good trade, get funded, do 6 days of micro executions, and connect them all together, put them in a row, see how it goes. So let's take a look at NQ here and the DXY. The DXY is still trending higher, which could be an issue for our long position here on ES, but ES is really holding up here. I mean, this could change very quickly. 5-minute time frame. We're still holding this bearish fair value gap that we have created here, paired with the inversion fair value gap here. Let's see, that's 5 points. I could simply secure 5 points on that 25k account. Okay, no, I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna secure 5 points here. And that's the 25k account. That's up to 150 for the Take Profit Trader Challenge. Let's take a quick screenshot of that and put it into our trading journal. We have to add a new account. TPT 25k. Starting balance 25,000. Initial deposit date, the 8th. TPT, import. No, not import. We want to add them manually. Manual entry, ES1, TPT 25K. How much profit did we end up making on that account today on that long? 257.50 with one mini contract. 2022 setup. Gotta be careful with this account because you only have a $500 daily loss limit. You don't have that with Apex, so yeah, just making sure that I don't take more than one trade per day really to avoid getting blown up here. Trade day 50K. We're still on that trade from the London session. TPT is done. Apex Live is done. So let's log out of our take profit trade account. This one is good for at least today. Unless we get a very clean 2022 model from the high trade day account. What is the time? It's 8:45. So in 14 minutes we get a new hourly candle. And Q once again made a lower low here, while the S is holding up relatively strong. Didn't go below this low here at 4395. It depends on the setup, day trader. I answered that question yesterday. If I can risk $250, that's how much I can afford to lose on a single trade. Right here, for example, on the setup where I entered right here, my stop loss was 4.75 points. I put my stop one tick below that. My take profit target is that 221 based on this low right here, 221. Right here at the high, move my stop loss one tick lower than that. Is it? No, it's right here. And then I click on create limit order. Right here, $237 risk. That's
Iceberg ES sell.
good enough. It's close enough to the $250 target, but let's say our stop loss would just be above 5 points. I cannot use minis because then if I would use one contract, I would lose more than 250. And yeah, then so basically once the stop loss is bigger than 5 points, like 6 points for example, I switch over to micros and only do micro executions. So yeah, I trade both depending on the stop loss. I prefer taking small stops, but if we get the 2022 model and we have happen to have a 10-point stop loss during New York, I'm switching over to micros because it's not reasonable to take that trade with minis for the account size. The remaining days, what is the minimum amount that you need to trade to count? Also, if you happen to lose and gets under your profit target, do you have to do it again? You just have to get above the $53,000 balance. Let's go over here to my Ethernet Apex account. That one. So on this Apex account, that's the one that's gonna get activated tomorrow. I made a loss of $14. I already, like, if you trade micros, like I did on the 25K account, I had a PL of, like, it just takes an execution. There's no rule for how much profit you have to make if it's with minis or micros. That's the cool thing with Apex, really. So for the other 6 days, if you use that same approach I've been using, then all it takes is an execution.
Stop and Q sell.
You have to make sure though you stay above the 26,500 or the $53,000 for the 50k account, and then you are good. If you get below that, you simply have to continue trading until you're back above it, and you have the 7 minimum trading days. I hope that answers the question. Let's go back to our trade day account. Recovered some of the losses, but I'm still waiting for my 2-to-1 to be hit. Not gonna let it go that easily. DXY is pushing higher, making a new higher high right here. Took London buy side liquidity. No, not yet. Style, make it a black line with a thickness of 1. So now we actually took the London high. Go over to ES, still a doji on the daily candle. This consolidation is really making it hard to sit through the trade, really. I mean, we could see a nice little dipper with the new hourly candle to take out at least this low, this low, this low, and this low, and still make it towards our previous day's high. Is it worth it sitting through it? We already had a little execution mistake right here where we secured $100, so we would be up $363 if we secure also like on a TPT account just $250. 1 hour time frame, no bullish fair value gap below us, only buy side above us. 4 hour time frame, looking pretty good. 5 minute time frame. Count summary for the day is up 355. DXY can't run higher forever, so I'm just gonna let it sit here. Let's take a look at our journal and switch over to the Bento trade day account. 142, 631, 95, 335. Now we're gonna let that play out to 2-to-1 and see if we can get some more questions in, so I don't have to look at the chart.
Absorptions buyers and Q. Did you already remove and attach it back to your chart and also updated or reloaded your chart? Did you try turning it on and off again? No, just kidding. The only reason why the VWAP wouldn't show is because your UTC time zone is set to -4. Well, we're now in summertime, winter time, and is that set to -5 already, Agent Smith? -5. -5 on the chart. You sure you're on a CME futures chart? That would be the next question. Going through the handbook. You have to make sure you're on version 1.1. Simply delete it from your chart. Go back to your, let's do it together, reload our tab. Save and reload. And then add the ICT all-in-one indicator back to our chart. Let it load up here quickly, then it should load up with the default settings. All right, we have the previous day's high, we have the previous week's low. All the timings are correct. Yep, that came with the new update. It's already set to -5, and if we now turn on the VWAP, new day, new week, opening gap, power of 3 like always. And our kill zone boxes, make sure we get the right settings. We do not want to see the New York kill zone. And we do not want to see... we want this to be 40 away from the most recent candle. Let's wait for it to load. Loading it for the first time might take a little bit longer. DXY rejecting here, that's nice. That's what we want to see for our long. And we load it and the VWAP's there. Let's see. Perfect. Once I get funded, I do not, you even cannot do this, use the same approach that you use to get funded, because once you're funded with Apex and you want to request a payout, you have to make sure that your biggest winning day doesn't account for more than 30% of the requested payout amount. So let's say your biggest winning day, you do the same thing that you use to pass the challenge, and you make $3,000 profit on one day, and you want to request payout, they simply decline it. And yeah, you have to basically get up to 30%. Oh, let me do the quick math here. $3,000 profit, 9,000 divided by 100 times 3. Yeah, you basically have to get above a $9,000 account balance in order to request your payout then. So yeah, you have that 30% consistency rule once you're funded with Apex. So after you're funded, it doesn't make sense to use the same trick or glitch. I don't know. It still requires skill to, I don't know, not blow up the account very quickly with the intraday trading drawdown. Initially, it might take you 5 times before you actually get the first account funded, but eventually you get there. And afterwards, I apply the good old risk method of either 1 mini contract if the stop loss is smaller than 5 points, or sometimes 2 if it happens to only be 2.5 point stop loss. It's different all the time. And yeah, if it's larger than 5 points, it's micro executions for me to still use proper risk management. DXY is rejecting very nicely after taking the London high. That's what we want to see. Here on this 8:45 candle, closing in 2 minutes. So we get a new hourly candle in 2 minutes. Keep an eye on that. It could really help us to deliver into our profit target finally. Perfect. Good amount of questions today, so I can kind of avoid looking at the chart. Closing the position out early. Let's see if we have anything on YouTube, and also take a look at Bookmap. Bookmap. So they removed all the orders down here at 4390, 4396. You can see only blue. And the next real big stack of orders would come in at 4396.5, 4390. with 174, and up here with 180 at around 4405. 4405, that would be above our previous day's high and above our profit target. That's all we're looking for to catch our 2 to 1. Took me a lot, gotta admit. Not closing out this trade early. You might know the feeling. Watch for our 2 to 1 risk reward ratio from our London entry. And then afterwards, if we take out the previous day's high and get a nice setup after Powell spoke, I would enter short. See if we have any questions on YouTube. How good or bad is it to see a candle being closed above breaker block 50% level? You always put a stop loss. Well, I used to do the same thing and really use super tight stops, but I kind of left these days behind. I mean, yeah, it's not the best thing to see a candle closing above or below the 50% of a breaker block. We can look at the most recent example right here on the 5-minute time frame. Breaker block, lower low, lower high. Those two up closing candles. We closed above, we never closed below the 50%. Well, it's not ideal, but it's also not always a sign that we're gonna break lower. So I'm just allowing the trade a little bit of room to breathe. I'm not giving it 10 points and allowing it to go below the sell side and then go back to the upside. I still have my stop loss at the appropriate swing low. And yeah, from there on, basically, yeah, even if it's closing below 50%, I know you can set it at 75%. If you're really looking for that crystal clear precision, but you're just exposing yourself to get stopped out by a little wick. It's going below that, wicks to the damage, bodies tell the story. And even though bodies tell the story, wicks are still doing the damage, and if you place it at 75% of the breaker block, you get stopped out. You can drastically improve your win rate by giving your trades a little bit more room to breathe, really. And by the way, guys, if you are funded, let me know. Open a support ticket here in support, or simply send me a DM or write it to me in general. And then you get the funded Discord role here. Mm, 4400, DXY continues to drop. It's playing out nicely. Let's just wait. Drink some water. Power speaking in 12 minutes. Let's see. Yeah. I really like how ES is showing that strength here. Let's take a quick look at Bookmap. Put some orders in, removed all the orders to the downside and started to put them up here. 165, not all the orders, but yeah, we can track liquidity by the color change of these lines right here at specific price levels.
Make sure to give the free YouTube stream a like. Really helps it putting it out there. Ah, come on. 2 ticks. That's the only thing separating us from getting out of this trade. And Q is pushing up again as well. Yes, it's at this high resistance level, so 50% of our little pullback here after we got the initial rally starting Q4 of 2022 related to the upside. We hit the 50% on our retracement to the downside. Once we hit the 50%, taking out the low of the accumulation, yeah, we basically saw one of the most bullish weeks we have seen on ES this year on a weekly time frame. Like we spoke about, 8 up closing candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, depends on today. On NQ we already have 8 up closing candles in a row, so we will see. And each and every single one of these candles, okay, except this one, has created a higher high and a higher low. We'll see how today is going to play. We're also right at a big figure level, 4400, 00. If you, I don't know, heard something about institutional levels, these 00 digits are good institutional levels. And then, like 4300, 4400, and then the real big figures are 000 levels, like 5,000, 3,000, 4,000. You're eventually going to see something happening around these levels with high probability. Now we have equal highs. NQ is pushing. ES1 is loading back up. The DXY is still rejecting. That's nice. Can take a look at Euro US dollar for the Forex traders watching. So we can see that we have SMT divergence. EU didn't take the low, while the DXY actually had this little tick below. So if we get our market structure shift, once we close above this high here on the 15-minute time frame, we could look forward to target longs. We already cleared this sell side liquidity. Formed a low, pulled back, formed a low, or failed to form a lower low basically, while the DXY took out the lower low, or the high, most recent swing point. Keep an eye on it. We've been pretty good with EU so far this week. Yesterday, 2022 model, that would have played as well. Take a close look at that. We form a low, and we form a lower low right here. We just place and shift market structure. So we swept the sell side liquidity pool, shifted structure. We had our breaker block being this candle, but we went below the breaker. Yet the setup still played out. We reacted from our lowest bullish fair value gap down here on the 15-minute. Tapped it, filled it perfectly. Targeting our 221. That happened at 12:30, so not really in the kill zone. Don't really count this one. That's why we don't have it on our chart. But yeah, potential 3-to-1 risk to reward has been hit. This was during yesterday's London live stream, and this was during Monday's London live stream. Today, we would be looking at a market structure shift above this level. Yeah, but let's go back to the DXY. See what that one is up to. After taking out the London high, our obvious next sell side liquidity target would A, be this 15-minute short-term low. And for the higher time frames, this one right here. And eventually our London session equal lows down here for sell side liquidity. We take external buy side liquidity, we move back into internal sell side liquidity. We might still continue to trend up higher. We will see what Power is speaking about in 6 minutes. Oh, god damn it. Hit my take profit target finally, would ya? Want to be out before Power is dropping his news. Not news, he's only, yeah, I don't know, holding the opening remarks at a speech, so only introducing someone important that's talking at a specific discussion. Yeah, I'm gonna get out here. Screw it. We have these equal highs and they're likely to be taken, and same goes for the previous day's high, but much better exit up here than down here where we were scared like a little chicken getting out of our trade. Likely because I just closed the trade. We're gonna hit our take profit target now, but that doesn't matter. We are going to check our account summary, $503 PL. Nice. So with this little slip up earlier, we actually managed to make twice as much as we usually risk, which is $250. So you can say our 2-to-1 risk reward has been hit with this mistake here. I entered on the midnight level and this 5-minute bullish fair value gap, and for some reason I hit the close position button. Might sound like I did it on purpose, but I really didn't. It was lucky because afterwards we retraced and got an even better entry down here. So all up, we actually managed to make our 2-to-1 anyway, 503.34. We go back to our trading journal. 503, we add our trade. First of all, we add the screenshot, so we can later on go through our trade gallery. But we cannot add 503 just like that. We have to deduct that from our initial profit. We do that later on. Trade day 50K, setup pattern 2022 setup, London session, London day 3. At trade. So 95.42. We made 503 point something, 0.34. 503.34 minus 95.42. 407.92 on this trade right here. 407.92. I could also just log into my trader weight and automatically import the trades by hitting the, where is it? Import trades. And then I go over here, select the account, choose the trade day 50K and add trader weight. Then I go over to trader weight, export the CSV file and upload it here. And then your trades are imported manually, automatically. I don't really like to do that because I like to add a screenshot with each and every trade that I take, because afterwards I can go through the gallery. 50K account, let's look at this entire year. So those were all the trades that we have taken so far. Our first trade during the London live stream right here, market structure shift, we closed below. Right here, this was the London open, consolidated until we got stopped out. Right here we have our Tuesday London session, market structure shift, bullish fair value gap, breaker block. I entered right here on the breaker block, but exact same setup that we saw today. Basically, we took out the Asia low, we continued making lower highs and lower lows, we displaced, had our breaker block and bullish fair value gap, but yesterday it simply didn't play out. We had Asia buy side, we fell short of that by 1 tick and we took out the low. Afterwards we all know what happened. We had our little rally to the upside. And if we look at, for example, today's trade, this was the the New York session short, also all valid. Market structure shift, bearish fair value gap. We just happened to lose on that one. And right here, this was a little mess up or mix up I did this morning. But same setup. We broke the Asia low, we formed lower lows and lower highs. We had our breaker block right here, this red box. We had our bullish fair value gap and inefficiencies, but today
We initially struggled to get back above the high, but eventually, after forming this double bottom, we kept on hitting our profit target. So that's not bad at all. So we can see exact same setup, Asia low taken. We had no previously, that doesn't work anymore, but during the London live stream, which is also on the YouTube channel if you want to watch that, we had no wick to the upside. So we opened up at 6 p.m. New York local time and we immediately started selling off. We did the same thing right here on this trade during the London session. Bearish candle, Asia session low taken, lower highs, lower lows, we shift structure. But yeah, this time it just didn't play out. And today it did. That's why it's important to take all the trades to make it count. Otherwise, if you miss winning trades, you're eventually gonna just end up taking all the losing trades. We would have hit our take profit target on the very next candle. So we eventually, oh, I got a terrible fill here with the market exit. And there goes the previous day's high. We missed out on $50 basically here, but that's okay. With this little slip up, we accounted for that. Previous day's high, 11 points. We made sure that we secured at least 250 on the take profit trade at 25k challenge, which is okay. I mean, 25, 250, 500, 6 days of $250 already passes the challenge. NQ is about to break the old high. We have our previous day's high up here. We have 14 minutes until market open. The DXY took this little internal sell side liquidity low. Let's see if it can make it into some more of these lows. If we get our market structure shift confirmation, once we close below this low, we could look for even higher prices on both ES and NQ. Go over to ES. Nice trade. Done. Previous day's high hit and cleared. Power speaking, not too much of an impact as of right now. We took out the previous day's high for the 8th time in a row now. Yeah, they cleared the book. That's why I closed the position even 5 minutes before the news came in. Let's go. Thanks for the like. I just see that number increase here. Make sure to like the free Discord, free YouTube live stream. If you want to get access to the Discord live stream, also for the London session, that's included in our VIP membership or the live stream access. In our VIP membership, we also have all the other tiers included. Make sure to check that out. I'm gonna drop a Black Friday sale on Friday likely for the weekend, but that only is going to include the lifetime membership, maybe a 10% discount on the VIP membership. But yeah, looking at other traders' prices for their mentorships and all that stuff, it's relatively cheap. Usually spend more than $100 per month on these. And you get to watch me trade live, taking these 2022 setups, at least for the next 66 days during both London and New York. Questions, you get access to the ICT all-in-one indicator. I think it's a fair value for the price and for the time that I'm spending. Let's see, DXY likely rejecting. We took out the high here on NQ. So now we have 12 minutes until the New York Open. Jerome Powell is done. Use that to deliver into the high with a thin order book. And now they started. Now I'm not live anymore. We have the VWAP down here. A VWAP retracement really wouldn't hurt us up here at the high of the day. In order for us to get a new entry, we would like to see a market structure shift basically below the slow, which would be a bigger stop loss. Again, we took out the previous day's high, but really for the past, well, consolidation Monday, accumulation at the low on Tuesday, expansion. London and Asia really accumulated as well. We can see that similarity between both of them, this rounded bottom. Yesterday, the London session setup didn't play out because we cleared the London sell side one last time. Today it did, and we made sure we can profit with that. We took out the previous day's high. I don't know, not here to call a top nor a bottom, so we will see. If we get a short setup, I take it. It's all about the consistency. And I said that even if London session was a win, I will still take a trade during the New York session, even if it happens to be a loss. So today we made $500 with this move to the upside, which is basically 1% of the 50k challenge. If we now happen to get a short and it should fail, we're still up to 50, recovered some of the losses that we have made throughout the week. We will see how it goes. We're still at a major resistance level here on the S&P. We could simply expand, take out the buy side and all that stuff, but yeah, we're at the 50% of our entire retracement. We're about to tap the trend line here, bearish fair value gap. I don't know. I'm waiting for the pullback into the inefficiencies that we leave behind. And eventually we're gonna get that short. Could be this week, could be next week with the CPI news event. We will find out. All right, let's get rid of the executions here. We don't need to see about our chart. Yesterday we had another little scalp or a trade signal on our Discord server. A clean 2022 model. Where is it? Trade ideas. Up here. 2022 model alert. We had we broke structure open with a volume imbalance. I count that as a structure shift. I waited for this candle to be closed before the entry. You might have seen that already if you're on our Discord. Got our fair value gap, breaker block and all that stuff. I entered right here and took profits at the 50% off this 1 hour bullish fair value gap. Right here, 1 hour bullish fair value gap. We had old resistance, previous week's high, previous day's high, now being turned into support. So I really didn't force anything trying to catch a 2-to-1 risk reward on that. I just took that on the funded account to make little bits of profit, secured 7 points here. And yeah, looking at it, what happened afterwards, we perfectly stayed inside this old resistance, previous day's high, this orange line, Monday's high, and previous week's high, last Friday's high. Wicks to the damage, bodies tell the story. And we leave it 12:55, 5 minutes before the lunch session or the PM session is starting. 1 PM keeps on pushing up higher. Up here we had SMT divergence, but we outlined why this 2022 model with this bearish fair value gap had a lower probability with all these equal highs, blah blah blah, even if it's rejecting from the daily volume imbalance. We had a long conversation about that yesterday. Anyway, get rid of some drawings. We have 7 minutes left until the New York Open. See if we've got any questions. Can see orders being put in at 407 and 404. Nothing to the downside. Nothing on YouTube. And let's check out Discord. No, nothing new on Discord. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break before New York opens up. Just to walk away from the charts for at least 2 or 3 minutes and
I don't know, refresh the mindset after just hitting a winning trade. We don't want to feel overconfident or anything. We only enter with the next 2022 model, and yeah, see how that goes. Sort of the only thing that I want to say before I take my quick break. So we seem to be forming some sort of a, what crypto traders call a parabolic trend line or curve, which, yeah, I don't know, stage 1, stage 2. After phase 3, we either gotta get the explosion to the upside and simply just shoot up, or we break down, taking out all these lows. We have relative equal lows here, London session lows, low right here, low right there. Also
Stop
the
and Q sell.
PM session low right here, previous day's low is all the way down here, but very close to Monday's low. So if it really wants to get down here, it could really. Standard deviations, let's look at that. 0.5 standard deviation from the opening should be somewhere up here. Let's see, wait for it to load. Yeah, 0.5 open, negative 0.5, negative 1 would deliver us to the low of the week. Positive 1 would deliver us into the 440s. Go to our higher time frame ES chart, 440s. Yeah, would basically deliver us into our daily buy side. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that push above. Really, it's only 40 points. We had a tiny range so far today. 40 points is really not that much. Looking at past daily ranges, 40 points on top of here, take out the buy side before, then turning into, yeah, internal liquidity again. So we move from external liquidity back into internal, take out the liquidity up here, get our 2022 setup maybe tomorrow for the turnaround first day at the high of the week to retrace deeper. No, that's just the ideas that I get when I watch this chart. All right, gonna be back very soon. All right, little reset here. Let's see, we got the open in 2 minutes. Let's switch our accounts. That Apex account is in profit. So right now, I want to put your attention to the daily candle right here. We're relatively speaking at the high of the day. Right when New York opens up, will we continue higher from the high of the day, or will we, first of all, after taking external buy side liquidity, that's what I would expect, move into internal sell side below some of these lows, and maybe get something similar that we saw today, a Judas swing to the downside. Where is it? Right here. and then still continue
Stop
further
and
to
Q
the
buy.
upside. The only difference is that yesterday we had previous week and previous day's high liquidity above us. Today we don't.
Seller
So
sweep yes.
we will see how that goes with the New York Open. The DXY took out the slow but failed to take out this little swing low. NQ took out the high. Well, considering NQ didn't clear the previous day's high yet, I would expect some momentum to the upside within 15 seconds. Let's see. We've been forming this parabolic trend line here. Sell side below any of these lows that you can see here. New York opened up. Is that a drawing? Or is that the indicator? No, it's a rectangle.
Stop and Q sell.
Hide the new day opening gap because we don't really have one today. And also hide the standard deviations. They won't be super helpful today. We go to the daily time frame here quickly to mark up our higher time frame stuff. That's our daily volume imbalance. Hide the indicator for a second. And our daily buy side liquidity right here at 423 and at 440. 430. 4430. 4430. Yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Stop and Q sell. Seller sweep and
Now
Q.
let's drop it back down to our 15 after having mapped out the
Seller sweep and Q.
real next
Stop
price
and
at
Q
week
sell.
2. If we want to continue this run, can also look at 4-hour liquidity. Maybe we get some of that before we hit our daily buy side. Really? A 4-hour high, but we already cleared that. Right here, 4-hour swing high. Got one last push from a 4-hour bullish fair value gap. So right now, simply expect prices to continue higher. Maybe sweep something internally. 1-hour time frame. Let's see if we have anything between price now and the time and our daily fair value gap. We have a 1-hour bearish fair value gap right up here. But I like this one more.
Buyer sweep and
because we
Q.
use it as
Stop and
resistance
Q buy.
twice.
Stop ES buy.
Tidy up our lines.
Stop and Q sell.
And we start to push. A 15-minute time frame, that should do the trick. NQ, after being above the end dog, retested the new day opening gap right here. Old resistance turned into support now. Continuing just as expected towards the previous day's high.
Buyer sweep and Q.
On ES,
Buyer
we
sweep
didn't
and
see
Q. Absorptions
a
buyers and
stop
Q.
hunt wick right here that we saw on NQ, but we're pushing the daily here. It also has the buy side liquidity above that it wants to take. Here's our 50%. Let's make this a orange dotted line. No, barely see that. Make it red. A little bit better. So it's watching Q here, taking out the previous day's high. There we go. That's booked.
Absorptions buyers and Q. Stop and Q buy. Buyer sweep
Spoke
NQ.
about that during
Stop
London.
NQ buy.
So today we got a multiple session setup. We closed above, retested the breaker block, and slowly but surely heading into New York Open, took out our buy side liquidity target. No magic. So now we took out the high.
Iceberg
on a
NQ buy.
5-minute time frame
Stop
on
NQ
both
sell.
charts. The XY continued lower and also took out this short-term low. If we get a close below, we could call it a market structure shift at the high of the daily bearish fair value gap. This is this big red box down here. In the VIP chat on Discord, we spoke about a potential structure shift from yesterday, right here. We wanted to see how,
Iceberg
Asia
NQ
opens up
sell.
and trades, because we
Absorptions
only trade
buyers
London and New
NQ.
York. And we can already see that at the beginning of London, when we started to consider taking trades, the XY looked like it's going to take out buy side liquidity. And that this change in the state of delivery has pretty much been negated with this 1 hour bearish fair value gap. So we also ditched that idea. Expected prices to rally towards the AM high and PM high. We just managed to take out the London session high. And now took this liquidity here even on the 1 hour time frame, on the 4 hour time frame. We just
Stop
have 2
NQ
big
sell.
wicks. Let's see how we continue from here. NQ immediately rejected after taking a buy side liquidity pool. So let's see, this might be a high of the day reversal. Yep.
Absorption sellers NQ.
Jump in on our accumulation zone trade day account. Because right here, what are we doing? We are forming a higher high, higher high, higher low, higher high, and we immediately displace on a 1 minute. That structure would be a lot cleaner. Yet we have to wait for the fair value gap on the 1 minute time frame in order to take the trade. On a 1 minute, if we close below the slow, we'd get that market structure shift we've been talking about. Right here we have that higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, fair value gap from the high of the day. That's exactly what we're set out to do. So if we go to the 5 minute time frame, what we want to see is a close below the slow. And then we potentially get a entry somewhere around here, and we could target all this beautiful sell side liquidity. But first of all, we have to wait for the confirmation.
Iceberg NQ sell.
There we go. We're starting to reject here. Let's take a look at NQ. Same thing here. Immediately rebalance this candle. What do I mean by that? We do not leave behind a 930 inefficiency. So by rebalancing this bullish 930 candle with this wick to the downside, we do not give price a chance to leave behind a 5 minute fair value gap, which could lead to higher prices, 50% of the daily wick and daily buy side liquidity paired with a daily bearish fair value gap. Let me open up Discord here. All right. And that plays with the DXY continuing lower. I can see that if we switch over to EU, we got that market structure shift in on the 15 minute. Are you talking short? Oh.
We don't like that. But well, we have these relative equal lows that could happen. Market structure shift is in now. DXY is moving away from the high after the daily bearish fair value gap has been filled in completely. We took out the London session high with a little wick. Let's see. NQ rejecting ES as well.
Absorption spires NQ. Iceberg NQ sell.
Let me drop that market structure. But we need the fair value gap paired with that. So right now, if we drop it down to the 1 minute time frame, we might actually saw, yep, that 1 minute fair value gap got filled perfectly. So I wouldn't be surprised if we form this time a head and shoulder setup right here. We saw that last pump starting with the 9:30 opening. Right now we formed our right shoulder and we continue lower from here. If I would be on a paper trading account, I'd take that. I won't take that right now on the stream because that's not what we're set out to do here. We're looking for the 5 minute setup, and until we get the 5 minute setup, we wait and stay disciplined. But really, this is a pretty good opportunity, yet it can still fail. We have equal lows, we have our inefficiency. The market structure shift, even on a 1 minute time frame, is not yet confirmed, so that would be a anticipatory entry. NQ rejecting, DXY continuing lower, ES on the daily, trying to push above the 50% level here. Take a look at bookmap. You can see a deep red area right here at
Iceberg NQ sell.
250. Now the market is really moving. That's when you see bookmap
Absorption spires NQ.
useful. How they move orders, how they spoof the market. But traveling with a 3 monitor setup is pretty difficult. I can tell you that. And if you can do it on just one monitor or just on your laptop or just on your phone, like, yeah, it's really nothing stopping you. It's a nice to have to see bookmap and all that stuff always like in your corner, but it would just, yeah, trigger more early exits and early executions based on FOMO, blah, blah, blah. DXY. ES hasn't broken structure yet. We're waiting for that patiently. But we want a fair value gap with that. But at the same time, fair value gaps are hard to come by if we see so many wicks. Take a look at the 1 minute. Sorry guys, I'm gonna drink some water. Been talking for a while. We still respect this 1 minute bearish fair value gap perfectly. Wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story. So right now,
Still looking good for that short, but it's a high risk opportunity because we didn't shift structure yet. We didn't close below this low or even wick below the low. We just have equal lows down here. We have the VWAP, daily volume imbalance, daily opening level right here. Talking about that, we also have the 830 opening level right here with that volume imbalance, the midnight level, previous week's high. I don't know, I still have that feeling that we continue higher, at least right now, until I see proof that we want to take some sell-side liquidity first. This would be the highest risk entry that you could take before getting the confirmation and then taking the lowest risk entry basically. Be kind of a gamble to go short here. But gambles sometimes do work out. Doesn't mean
Buyer
that you
sweep
should
and
gamble,
Q.
so don't get me wrong. So right now we closed above our bearish fair value gap for the first time. Let's see if we use it as support now with our inversion. So right now, market being in an uptrend.
Iceberg and Q
Just regard
sell.
this as a paper trade. Stop loss goes right here on this candle slow. We target 5 points. See if that would play out as a little scalp basically. Or if we just continue to chop, get stopped, go back up. See how precise ES really wants to be right now. Because we would expect this fair value gap to hold the bodies perfectly. So we just retested the inversion and immediately get rejected to the upside. To play it safely, we would take a partial right here at the high. Make sure we move our stop to break even, maybe even. But we just open up with a bearish volume imbalance after closing above the inversion for another time. We will see. Paper trade idea. If we start to chop around, disregard the inversion and the bearish fair value gap. That's both leading towards a maybe good short. But yet without the confirmation. And Q. DXY continuing lower, so it keeps grinding lower. We have our market structure shift here on the
Buyer sweep and
time
Q.
frame. And I think, once the hourly candle is closing, also on the 1 hour time frame, 15-minute, we took the London session low, so the next sell side pool here for the DXY would be this low right here, and the Asia session low reversed after taking out the AM session high, pulled back,
Stop
took out
ES
the
buy.
London session high, and now we're pulling back.
Buyer sweep and
We
Q.
have the 50% of this fair value gap. This is always getting me messed up. I want the midnight level to be the only dashed line on my chart.
Iceberg and Q sell. Stop ES buy.
It's also on our way. We could measure the entire daily range from low to high. We're below the 50% already. So these EU longs might be coming in juicy, and that's also part of the reason why I'm favoring the longs here of the inversion fair value gap, because we see the DXY going lower, shifting structure. Really wouldn't expect lower prices on the indices then. But 5-minute time frame, we can start to see a potential SMT divergence between ES and NQ. ES is already above the high that has been put in place at 9.35. 9.35, we're above that. Open up with a volume imbalance after rejecting from the inversion fair value gap, and open up with another volume imbalance right here. But we want to see support on these volume imbalances after taking the buy side liquidity with potential SMT divergence. So let's see how that plays. Still have that SMT with NQ. Didn't make the higher high. DXY took out the London low. Let's see. I want to see support on these 1-minute volume imbalances. One of them is likely also a 5-minute volume imbalance. Yeah.
right here, this one. So after taking buy side, we open up on the 5 minute with a volume imbalance to the upside. We open up with a volume imbalance down here. So we give those ones more weight. We could also use the ICT all-in-one indicator and head over to here to the multi-time frame volume imbalances. Scroll down into the settings and choose which volume imbalances we want to see. Right now it's preset to the 5 minute time frame. And then, yeah, all the 5 minute volume imbalances are being displayed on our 1 minute chart. And if we extend them to the right, you can see that's where we kept on holding support. Come on. There we go. Huge amount of volume imbalances here from the London session. That's usually where you see, yeah, price bounce. The highest 5 minute volume imbalance closed in on the 1 minute time frame, but used to deliver up higher. Let's see if our 5-point target would have been hit for a little ends model here. Right now, still not looking for the short, but we now also have bearish SMT divergence on our side. SES keeps pushing up higher. What's that? That doesn't look right, but well, whatever. We keep an eye on our higher time frame here. We're inside the daily bearish fair value gap. We took out this daily high already yesterday. We're pushing above the 4400 level. Like I said, that next daily target really is 15 points away from where we are at right now. With the DXY dropping, I could see us hit that. Up here, this is a 1 hour bearish fair value gap and 1 hour or 4 hour buy side liquidity. Before we get into our daily buy side liquidity at 430. And we keep expanding from the inversion that we outlined. I don't know if you're scalping and you like the setup. I mean, what's presented on a silver plate, at least to the Discord members. If you're watching on YouTube, the delay might have prohibited you from entering on that. But for all our Discord VIPs, that should look fine. Made a new higher high. Let's take a look at NQ. NQ is pushing, but it's struggling to close above the previous day's high. We keep an eye on ES. 5 minute time frame. Get a close in 1 minute. So with the next 1 minute candle, we will see we kept on making higher highs. So more SMT divergence. We reached 3 points, like we said, partial once we're above this high, stop loss to break even. That's how I would manage the scalp. But we seem to get rejected and close in the volume imbalance, also on the 5 minute time frame. Still 30 seconds to go. What's that line? 1 minute volume imbalance paired with the old high. Really, if we kind of the same setup that we saw yesterday, but we would have only had the same setup if we got a new 5 minute volume imbalance by the looks of it. If we would have taken it slow, we would have seen the same unicorn setup that we saw yesterday. So we still got our Judas swing to the downside, but without taking sell side in this scenario, disrespecting the bearish fair value gap, closing above it, using it as support to deliver up higher. That's perfect price action here, really. And yeah, this would be our breaker block where we're now bouncing from. The highest 1 minute up closing candle.
Stop NQ buy. Stop NQ buy.
But
Buy
we
or
can't
sweep
really
NQ.
call it a unicorn setup because we only have these equal lows. Therefore, we would have actually take out the most recent higher low. So we make a higher high, higher low, higher high, equal lows, higher high.
we would have had to make a lower low here and then immediately displace back up for it to call it a model. So 5-minute time frame. Screw that. All the volume imbalances here. Go back to the 1 minute. So we keep off bouncing off the breaker from a unfortunately not unicorn model. Otherwise I would have
Seller
taken that.
sweep
We
NQ.
don't have
Absorption
SMT
sellers
divergence anymore
NQ.
because NQ now also took out the high. But it's struggling more than ES is, continuing further to the upside. Let's see what price is doing and just keep on tape reading. Like I said, our paper trade stop loss is at break
Iceberg
even.
ES
We already
buy.
secured
Absorption sellers
partials
ES.
once we got above this high. Maybe another partial when we made the higher high, targeting these 3 equal highs right here on the 1 minute. Keep in mind we're scalping. We're not swing trading from a higher time frame. Want to make sure we secure profits when they have been made available to us. Don't want to start chasing clouds. Entering right here, hoping we're gonna get all the way up into our daily buy side. That's
Seller sweep
not
ES.
usually how it works. We pull back the DXY. NQ also starting to pull back, but no SMT divergence anymore. Market structure shift would come in once we close below this low. And ESZ would come in once we still close below these 2 equal lows. 5-minute time frame. High. Wow, that's getting tricky. 15-minute time frame. Our market structure shift being this short-term low. Well, we'll see. We only take a clean one, so I'm not going to choose any of these lows. I'm going to choose the short-term low here actually. We can also use our indicator for help. Okay, so we would be stopped out at break even now. This is our most recent higher low, so this is where we could get our market structure shift from. Get rid of the 1 minute stuff and also hide all these volume imbalances that price likely wants to reprice into. Like I said, market structure shift, we need a displacement below this low. We don't have SMT divergence anymore. We took out the high here on NASDAQ. Above the previous day's high. The DXY is still continuing to go lower. And we're still holding the previous day's high. So right here we closed above it on ES. On the 5-minute time frame we respected this level so far. Only looking at the candle bodies because like always they tell the story and wicks to the damage. Higher high came from this low. Yeah, equal lows, that's perfectly fine. We're gonna wait for that. 1 hour time frame, no inefficiencies below us. 15-minute time frame, we already bounced off the 9:15 or 9 AM bullish fair value gap with a bullish break of structure. Here the indicator also indicated the correct market structure shift perfectly actually. That's nice, so we can know we can rely on it. With our higher low, we want this level to be broken, close below, with a fair value gap, and then I enter short. But in the meantime, let's do a little bit of questions. Discord. What is your competition? The competition that we have going on Discord right now for a free VIP membership for 1 month is simply to share your profit and loss, and a person with the biggest profit gets a 3 month worth of VIP membership. Just share it here in profit and loss like I do, and yeah, we'll see who wins. I don't want you to like hold the positions for
Like, yeah, I don't know. Just trade the way you normally would trade.
Absorption
and
sellers ES.
Yeah, we picked the best winner out there.
Stop
So I
and
don't
Q
want
sell.
to. I don't
Stop
want you
and
to
Q sell.
force
Stop and
something
Q sell.
just
Seller
because
sweep
you want to win
ES.
the competition.
Stop ES
Just,
sell.
yeah,
Seller
use that
sweep
trade
and
the
Q.
way you normally
Stop
trade,
and Q sell.
and we see how it goes. So we just swept these higher lows. Right here, we want to see the close below and no rejection wick from here. NQ didn't sweep the 930 low just yet. But really the market structure shift on NQ would come in earlier. If we take a close look at it. Let's see what the indicator says. If it's also deeming it as a higher low right here. A little come on. Because we formed a high, we pulled back and formed a higher high. This is our market structure shift level. NQ just hit the bearish. Okay, it's time
Stop
to switch
and
over.
Q sell.
We might
Stop
get our
ES
close
sell.
below here.
Stop ES
We're
sell.
waiting for our
Stop
bearish
and
fair
Q
value gap
sell.
if we get
Seller
the chance.
sweep and Q.
For our short.
Absorption sellers and Q.
NQ, market structure shift. Didn't detect this one
Stop
because of
and
the
Q
length
sell.
I have set. It's not detecting this low as a low. I have the market structure setting at a look back of 3. If you decrease it to 1, it would detect it as a market structure shift. That's why I'm saying human and machine are working best together. So from the previous day's high, already managing to take sell side.
Absorption
ES,
buyers ES.
bouncing around the volume imbalance here. EU DXY pulling back. Yeah, like said, can't enter just now. We wait for our bearish fair value gap at least before we take an entry. And until then, I still have a couple of minutes left. Roughly 7 minutes. I'm gonna quickly go to the bathroom. If you have any questions before we get ready to enter our potential trade, if we get the chance, and we simply not just drop below the London sell side liquidity without giving us our entry, then yeah, feel free to ask.
Seller sweep and Q. Absorption sellers ES. Seller sweep and Q. Stop and Q sell. Stop and Q sell.
Oh, well, that's the displacement. Take a look at Nasdaq here. Okay, Nasdaq, big time displacement, and ES also nice displacement. We have our market structure shift
Stop
confirmed.
and Q sell.
Let me hide these higher highs and higher lows. I don't need them when I'm actively trading, doing all this stuff. So, let's take a look at what we're dealing with. 50% of our daily range. We're already below that. We close below that. So we target sell side liquidity below the 50%, like we spoke about it yesterday. This could still be a Judah swing. So be well aware if you take the same entry that I will likely take very soon.
Stop and Q buy.
The opening can go away. We know where the open is. So we just took sell side below the 50%, but yeah, like we spoke about during the London stream, this could be a potential manipulation move, but we take the setup, we don't judge it. The DXY, that might have been the only reason why we saw that manipulation, for the DXY to retrace into the breaker block right here. Paired with the bearish fair value gap, we just hit that and started to reject. Coming closer and closer to that midnight level. Lower prices on
Absorption
DXY
sellers
could
ES.
lead to higher prices on ES. And this to be a fake out. Anyway, right now we have a bearish fair value gap that's looking like this. We have our breaker block being basically the stone closing candle, not really nice here on the 5-minute time frame. So we rely on our fair value gap here. Bearish fair value gap paired with the daily volume imbalance. I would prefer
Absorption buyers ES.
this
Stop
candle
and
to
Q
push
buy.
up as high as it can possibly do for our fair value gap to get smaller. And our stop loss also to get smaller, because right now my entry would be right here. Our stop loss would be up here, targeting a 2-1 London session low, PM session sell side. I think I would only go for a 1.5 because we already made profit today. A 2-1 would get us all the way down here. We look at our last manipulation leg. We follow the procedure from high to low. Use our ICT standard deviations. Yeah, we could really target something here from the high of the week with a mollo. That's fair enough. So let's see, 2 minutes to go before we place our entry, because we had that question earlier. We have a stop loss that's larger than 8 points. I have 5 points. I'm going to open up the micro chart here to the right, where I'm going to get ready. That's not the micro chart. Made that mistake before. MES.
Absorption buyers ES.
So keep in mind, if you don't want to take this trade, you have reason to believe that's not going to play out. I'm simply following my rules. And yeah, we could end exactly like yesterday, after already taking out external buy side liquidities, simply retrace into internal sell side below the 50% of our daily range if we simply want to continue up higher. If you believe that the DXY is going to continue lower, you're likely right. And yeah, then don't take this short. This is not financial advice. This is just me executing on my funded account. And yeah, we will see how that goes. 1 minute to go. Started to retrace. Let's take a look at NQ. Same thing here. We focus on our charts, make sure we don't make mistakes, get a decent retracement. Entry would come in right here now, and we have a 7-point stop loss. Okay, we keep on pushing. Let's
Iceberg
hope we
ES
actually
sell.
even leave behind
Absorptions
the value
buyers
gap.
NQ. Buyer sweep NQ.
I mean, I appreciate the smaller stop loss.
Seller sweep NQ.
Okay, we immediately filled in this entire
Stop
bearish
NQ
value
buy.
gap. We got a better entry than we anticipated, yet with this bullish volume imbalance, like said, the probability is there for this to become a Judas swing. But we play the probabilities here. Our stop loss is right here above this high. Our take profit target is going to stay the 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which is now
Seller sweep
right
NQ.
here with a 12-point move. For now at least, we have our bearish value gap. Let's close this chart here and focus on our mini contract. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we get the exact same thing that we saw yesterday, this being a fake out, but I quickly want to make sure I'm also getting in on my
TBT challenge. Let's try to get that in here. Right now we have a, come on, load up. If we enter here, we have a 6-point stop loss. So I'm also going to use micros right now with a market order. Let's risk 250 on that. 250, 245, 7 units, 245, sell. All right, we are filled. This being our entry, this being our stop loss. That's matching up with the mini chart. Yep. 2 to 1 is down there. Okay, cool. We are in on both the important accounts. I'm not gonna take it on unfunded. I already made profit today. No reason to give that back. Those are the rules. But on the challenges, I don't really mind. Made profit on the London long. Let's see if we can replicate it on the short right
Stop
here.
NQ
So this would be
sell.
our entry. This is our
Seller
mini
sweep
fair value
NQ.
gap.
Stop NQ sell.
Our stop loss 7 points. We target a 2 to 1, which would come in almost at the London session low. We have the trend line liquidity. We spoke about that all morning. Before the 9:30 open. Let's see, reversal from the high of the day, market structure shift, bearish fair value gap, stop loss entry on the fair value gap, stop loss at the short-term high up here, target 14 points below the London session low. DXY can kiss my ass and do whatever it wants to do. I want to simply follow my rules. Like I said, yesterday we had a similar setup. We had a trend prior to the 9:30 open. Then we had a Judo swing to the downside, a fake move below the 50% of the current daily range. The same thing could happen today. The same thing could happen basically any day. I'm not here to predict the days when it can happen and when it will not happen. Right here, 50% of the daily range. We hit sell side below the 50%. And this could be enough for some longs to get stopped out really quickly. That have been long maybe since the London Open for a simple continuation higher. But regarding where price is right now and where it came from, the high of the week above the previous day's high. So I basically have a A+ setup here. We took out higher time frame point of interest. We had our displacement with one candle. We have a bearish fair value gap. We're coming from a high of the day, high of the week. We target our
Stop
2 to 1.
NQ sell.
I think it couldn't get more A+. And we always have the possibility that we simply sweep sell side below the 50% when we continue lower. It's always there. You won't find a reversal setup where we simply just couldn't, where this couldn't be a Judo swing. And like we saw it yesterday, we were wrong. We took the loss, a good loss, because we followed our rules. And then we displaced immediately to the upside, and we still managed to catch the long based on the unicorn model. So all good with that. Our TP and stop loss is placed. We do not need to worry about that. We're doing all that stuff from a respected area. If you're trading NQ, exact same setup. We hit the bearish fair value gap here on the 5-minute time frame. Market structure shift up here or down here, depending what you like. Our target for NQ would be a little bit lower because our stop loss would be a little bit bigger. Right here, bearish fair value gap entry. 1 to 1 would roughly deliver us into our London session low. If we measure our last manipulation, which I would deem from this high to this low, 0.513, let's see, previous day's low, daily volume imbalance, previous week's high, 4 standard deviations. I could see that possible. Remember, we're coming from a high
Stop
of the week.
ES sell.
One is sell high and buy back lower. Don't buy high. Hope that makes sense. Just trying to put it all in here, so there are no questions to be asked. No hindsight, we're all doing it live. And let's see if it plays out. Who cares?
Seller sweep NQ.
Let's go. Let's see what we have on Discord. Let's see. Let's see. Take a look at YouTube. Any questions? Nope. Only 8 likes. Come on, guys. I'm still playing around the daily. Yeah, so basically there's nothing left for us to do. We had identified our setup. That's when you just watch boring price action basically. We set our stop loss at protected high. We have our take profit target set at 2 to 1. Even if we lose the setup, our profit target or our risk to reward ratio helps us from, yeah, basically surviving with proper risk management. We risk 250, we make 500 on a winning trade. That's all we really need. If we happen to lose 6 out of 4 trades, we still end up in profit. That's the cool thing with risk management. Don't try to force anything, it's not going to work. Price is going to do what price is going to do. All right, guys, do you have any questions for me? NQ looks a lot weaker. The DXY, I don't know, it's going lower. This might not help our setup right here.
Absorption buyers
We'll
ES.
see. Like I said, risk management, risk to reward ratio, that's all that really matters. And if we
Stop
misplace
NQ buy.
and decide to go long, we could still catch some movement. Only risk $250 on this trade. We already made 500 on the London session long. And that's the reality of trading. You can't win every day. You can't force anything. Well, yeah, that's basically it. If you try, yeah, sometimes you get lucky. Most of the times you fail and you ask yourself why. How's the weather in Germany? Let me look out the window. Yep, dark and rainy fits. A little bit rainy. Right now there's sunshine with, let me check the temperature. I know you like that. 9 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit, Celsius. The proper way to measure temperature. Yeah, 10 degrees Celsius even. Time to get outside. A little bit of sunbathing.
Iceberg ES sell. Absorption buyers ES.
Sunset at 4:50 p.m., which is basically in 30 minutes. Sucks big time. But well, tonight is Champions League. That's something to look forward to in these dark and a little bit rainy days. Maybe we even have a winner trade. Who knows?
Iceberg NQ sell.
But Champions League is on tonight. That's on the menu for later.
Stop ES
Let's see
sell.
if we have any
Seller
questions
sweep
on
NQ.
the YouTube
Iceberg
channel.
ES buy.
One more like. I appreciate it, Agent Smith. Thanks very much. Can I... No, I don't. Add as moderator. Managing moderator.
Stop NQ buy.
Ooh. Agent Smith and me, we go way back. We've been in this trading game for a little bit of time. I think 2 years. These Discord friendships, man. They remind me of these good old Steam or PlayStation Network friendships. I don't know, when you played Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty or simply FIFA. And yeah, I don't know, you just got to know other people over the headset or via the chat, and you turn out to get mates. If you would met that same person in real life with a age difference, like, I don't know, that initial discussion or the initial conversation wouldn't even start. But that's the cool thing with the online part. It doesn't matter how old we are. All that matters is our skill, really, and what knowledge we have to share. And yeah, that's what I really like about the industry. I could be 14 years old. Who would care if I give you the signals and teach you the
Iceberg
methodology
ES
that
buy.
works? Like, no one would care. I could be 80 years old, 20 years old, 40 years old. I'm right now 23. Yeah, turning 24 in December. That's pretty cool. We made the lower low. NQ continued lower, but didn't take out the London low yet, so we still have the potential for that. ES set. Let's look at the micro chart here. We're running in profit. Our 221 on the TPT account comes in right here. We could also just put it at the London session sell side, really. But no, we're gonna leave it there. 221 is fixed. Create limit orders, 7 units. That ends up being a $455 profit. Yeah, and if we would put it to the London session low, 7 units, 481. Well, I think I can live with 450. Leaving that at a 2-1, I guess I would have had to add one more contract. That's the entire calculation was based on 7 micro contracts here. But because I entered above the original entry at 4400.75, this didn't really work. We'll see. We already anticipate the
Absorption
loss.
sellers NQ. Seller sweep NQ.
Stop loss, which, yeah, would net around $230 loss, I'd say. $220, $225, I think, if we make 450. So we do not blow up. It's just another trade within the row of very likely the next 100 trades. Nothing to get excited or to get afraid of or be afraid of. We play the probabilities.
Absorption sellers NQ.
That's all we can, really. We took out some more sell side liquidity below the 50% now with this next continuation candle lower. Like I said, we want to see the continuation below the London session low or towards the London session low. NQ didn't clear it yet. We will keep an eye on that and set an alert. NQ close below the midnight level. At alert, we use the exact same analysis that we did on ES. Bearish fair value gap, market structure shift, came in right here. With this blue line, this is our entry.
a 36 point stop loss, 44 points until the London session low. If you entered on NQ, I would certainly make sure to secure profits at the London session low. Even if it's just 50% or 75%, but make sure to secure it. And yeah, afterwards you can let it run really. 4 standard deviations would bring us back all the way almost to the previous week's high. And yeah, eradicate yesterday's long, previous day's low. That would net a decent risk reward. Partial out, whatever you want to do. I'm not telling you how to manage your risk. Everyone has a different risk appetite.
Absorption sellers, yes.
If I'm old, I might retire soon. Well, if trading is going very, very well, and I'm doing very well, I could also retire soon. No, just kidding. I enjoy it too much. But I get the point. Why so many sounds? Sorry guys, that likely was my phone in the background. I've been spammed. Alright. Mixer header, I hope that didn't interrupt the live stream too much. DXY continuing lower. Let's take a look at ES. Take a look at NQ. Did NQ already clear the London sell side? Nope, not yet. We have our alert set. Let's modify that and call it NQ low. Yeah, and like we spoke about, there's really not much that we can do right now other than watch and see how the trade plays out. We've done everything that we can possibly do. There's no early exits, blah blah blah. Maybe trailing our stop to break even, that's the only thing we could consider. But now based on our market structure shift at the high of the week, after taking out a higher time frame point of interest, power of 3, well, other than managing our risk, taking a precise entry, there's not much we can really do. We can, though, put a little magnet down here, because that sometimes helps to draw price towards our magnet. That's a little secret. And if you put these little lightning things here, it even works better. You just have to make sure you turn it into the correct way, like this. So it's actually pulling. I hope that's not something dirty. Imgo, the magic of the internet. Let's look at bookmap here quickly. Well, that's awfully slow. Where are we at? Come on. Let's give this guy a little bit to load. certificate of funding. Nice, well done, Agent Smith. So you still have the funded trader row, even the 250k account. Fucking hell, you're smashing it. Well done, Rhythmic, all with Apex. Nice. I get a new certificate tomorrow coming in as well, and in 5 days again. Let's see if Bookmap wants to load up. Well, other than a overflow of information, sell side. What's that? Sweep. 439. So we have most of the buy orders. We have some more liquidity to be picked up at here at 4401, 4390. What does it look on our chart? 4401. Yeah, it can pull back, I don't mind. And 4390, that comes in roughly with our London session low. Taking a look at NQ. NQ still didn't take the London session low. That's really what we would expect. The DXY is working against that, but they're not always perfectly correlated. That's why, yeah, we likely see EU currently going up. We talked about the potential market structure shift here earlier, but really without giving the appropriate breaker block entry. This would have been our EU breaker block right here. We closed above, but we never saw the retracement. We just started to run away. So the only real good entry for the market structure shift or the 2022 setup would have been this fair value gap. But you have to understand that taking an entry up here, depending on how you place your stop loss down here, yeah, it still offers a pretty good risk reward. But really, the stop loss should be below the SMT divergence protected low right here. And then, yeah, the risk reward sucks. The entry down here, breaker block paired with a bullish fair value gap would be ideal. It might still happen. The DXY pulls back. And yeah, EU retraces, takes out some internal sell side, tests the breaker block, and continues up higher. Here on the 5 minute, this really would be our breaker block. And here on the 5 minute, yeah, theoretically would have been able to catch the entry, because right here we close above our breaker. You would have to be quick on those ones. We touched the breaker, and that's where we started to move away from. Depending on how you place your stop loss, if that short-term low is good enough for you, one tick below that, would have already hit a 2-to-1 risk reward. But that's up to each trader's risk management.
Stop ES sell.
You have to find that out for yourself, basically. There's always a opportunity to enter if you, like, I don't know, let's say you're some big Twitter influencer who wants to share a clean setup that they took apparently. Well, you just have to skip through the time frames. Eventually, you're gonna find a fair value gap. Like right here, we already found it. So on a 1 minute time frame, we closed above the breaker. We had a bullish fair value gap right here. Poor, so perfect. Well, it's the same concept that we use on ES, but here on the 1 minute time frame, on the 5 minute, without the fair value gap fill, we would have waited for this fair value gap to be retapped. Didn't happen. The only thing that would have worked would have been the breaker block entry. We had SMT divergence between EU and the DXY right here, because EU didn't make a lower low, and the DXY made a higher high right here after clearing London session buy side, and keeps on making a lower low. I almost do not want to look at ES and how it's responding to that, but I guess we have to eventually. Ah, nice. NQ continues lower.
Stop ES sell. Stop ES sell. Stop NQ sell. Buyer sweep NQ.
Full power. We will need it. We're just at the midnight level here. We just touched it with the wick and started to reject. We open up with a volume imbalance right here that has yet been unfilled. 15 minute time frame, what are we looking like? Pretty good.
pretty good. We have these relative equal lows down here and almost at our profit target. We don't even have to get towards London sell side before we hit my 2-to-1 risk reward. Yeah, guys on the Discord who took the trade with me, where's your profit target? Freshkey? Oh, fuck, I forgot checking that chat. Gonna do that on my phone. Yes, I entered. And we perfectly rechecked from a midnight level. That's okay. NQ at least didn't take out the London sell side. So I think that should
absorption buyers ES.
Of course, right now with the DXY continuing lower, we could struggle. DXY is almost at the midnight level. I didn't used to look at the DXY. I'm not really sure why I'm doing it now. Maybe because I'm doing these live streams and it's good for educational purpose, I guess.
Seller sweep ES. Absorption sellers ES.
The breaker. And also our bearish fair value gap right here. We're still inside the daily bearish after filling it in completely. So we will see. Next sell side would be the Asia session low, which wouldn't be ideal for our short, but well, we're in it. When we do backtesting, do we check the DXY every time before we enter? No. So why would we do it in that live environment? We simply take the entry and see how it plays out. Use risk management and eventually we're gonna end up with profit. But yeah, we just happen to take out most sell side below the 50%. Looking at it from this perspective, we're still below the 50. We took out this low right here, and also this low right there. We already moved a total of
stop NQ buy. Buyer sweep ES.
So like I said, this could still be a Judas swing to take out internal sell side liquidity, leaving the London session low as the low of the day, continuing higher if the DXY really wants to sell off after our 15-minute market structure shift. If we check the 1 hour time frame, we saw the same thing happening here, market structure shift. We do have a 1 hour bearish fair value gap up here that we could revisit before continuing lower to deliver efficiently. And so this would be our 1 hour bearish fair value gap. And also our 1 hour bearish breaker block. We took out the London session high, so it's valid. We look for the lowest down closing candle. I guess we... No, we didn't hit it yet. We kind of hit the breaker and rejected. But well, we still have that fair value gap that could get filled with the next candle or the next 1 or 2 candles, which could help ES
stop
to continue
NQ
lower
sell.
and also NQ to hit the London session low. Let's watch both of them. Alright, ES. Take care. See you later. Yeah, at times will indicate the direction, but not always. And the question is, when's the right time? And you make it much simpler by not looking at it and simply execute setups like you would do even if you look at the DXY. Okay, so Apex is doing a 70% off and a half price reset sale right now. But I think the offer that Take Profit Trader
stop
currently
NQ
has
sell.
going on
Stop NQ
is
sell.
better because you get a free account of the same size once you get funded. So if you sign up with TPT using the 50 and free code or the ASAT trading code in the
stop
description
ES
right
buy.
here, I'd really appreciate if you use the links to support this live stream. Yeah, you get 50% off for live and an extra account for free. once you're funded. So let's say you go for a TPT account and you pass that account
Seller sweep
by
NQ.
playing it slow.
Top NQ
Let's say you
sell.
go for a 50k account or even just a 25k account. That's what I'm currently doing right now. You hit your profit target, and once that's done, you have to pay the activation fee, and you immediately get another 25k account, or like say you sign up for a 150k account, you get another 150k account completely for free. Yet if you pass that one too, you still have to pay the activation fee, I think. That's at least what I heard watching the promotion video. It's cool, at least that's something new, like they think about special discounts. They don't just want to push out discounts like
Buyer
Apex
sweep
does.
ES.
Oh
Stop
yeah,
ES
we
buy.
paid out
Stop
so and
NQ
so
buy.
many millions.
Buyer
Let's do
sweep
a
NQ.
90% sale. Cool. They find reasons
Buyer sweep
left and right
NQ.
to
Iceberg
in order to
ES
do that.
sell.
Oh, we got a few questions on YouTube. I hear lots of knocking sounds in the background. Sorry about that. I should have a noise filter on. I will re-listen to the live stream and make sure it's not here tomorrow. Sounds making me crazy. Discord gang, do you hear these same sounds? Ulrich H. Smith, Kuch, Mali. Okay, NQ actually hit the London sell side, and ES didn't. That's interesting. So we have SMT divergence here. We do not want to see this to hold. We want to see a continuation lower. So we triggered the alert. That's what we said. NQ, make sure to secure partials. ES didn't just yet, and this kind of wants me to move
Stop
my stop
NQ
to
buy.
even. Bullish SMT divergence, perfect bounce off the midnight level. Our magnets are not working really. Maybe it's the clock here that's making these background noises. Ooh, let's take a look at the DXY. DXY is pushing 15-minute time frame. Now we're just gonna stay in the trade, and I think it's 10:40. I'm gonna stick around until 4:50, 4:55, and just set and forget, let the setup play out. If ES wants to continue lower, I'm not trading my stop loss to break even. It should be fine at this current high of the week, unless we are completely wrong, and I'm okay with that really. We made profit today. We secured profits on the NQ short. We outlined it while we did the ES short as well. Can interchange them most of the time, but NQ usually delivers a lot quicker to these targets.
Stop NQ sell.
But also only hit a 1.27 risk reward ratio. For a 2-to-1, we would still have to wait for basically 2 standard deviations to the downside. But yeah, after taking external liquidity, we can expect some sort of retracement. We will see how it plays out. Now would be a perfect time to ask me backgrounds. Okay, chair moving. Okay, that makes sense. I thought that's not getting picked up from the microphone, because I have a noise filter on there. Let me check that. Yeah, noise suppression.
Stop
Maybe
ES
time
buy.
for a new chair. Noise gate. More CPI use. Close proximity mic. Yeah, well, I'm gonna send you a DM. Because your chair does the same. I don't know. Like,
Stop ES buy.
just can't sit still for 3 hours without moving, and sometimes it happens that the chair is making a noise. Well, if it's too much of a pain, then yeah, I'm gonna fix that.
gonna check out and look for a new mic. I think it's time. Okay, that's likely the noise in the background.
Iceberg ES sell. Seller sweep
It
ES.
should really be
Iceberg
filtered out
ES
here.
sell. Seller sweep ES. Absorption sellers ES. Iceberg ES sell.
Vocal microphone. Let's
Seller
see.
sweep
Let's check that
ES.
out. Sounds like bookmap sounds. Now bookmap should be on silent mode. My entire computer is silent right now. I made sure that there are no different sounds on that. Let's get rid of the bookmap stream. It's not really helpful right now. That looks cool. Does the arm come with it, or is it just a microphone? The arm comes with it. I guess if I go for this option. In vocal microphones by Shure. Yep, I'm gonna get one of those. Okay, we bounced nicely off the midnight level. And let's take a look at NQ. NQ also bounced after taking the sell side, but like we already said, not gonna change anything, not gonna move to break even. Stop loss up here should be fine. And yeah, we wait and see if ES wants to take out the London session low as well. I think the probability is there. I know that DXY is going against us right now, at least. If we look at the hourly time frame, I think maybe with that next hour we could get a pullback into that area. Maybe not, and we get stopped out, but we already made profits during London. There's not much we can do. We managed our risk well. I've been talking about that. Our targets are set for both the take profit trader account and the trade day challenge. If we happen to make profit, I think we would be out of our losing streak. Yeah, okay, on TPT there's no losing streak, but on trade day, we started on Monday. We actually started with 3 losing trades, if I'm correct, bento book. Trade day 50k account. Yeah, first loss right here, we used half the risk. Second loss, third loss, and then our first winning trade. We really have to combine both of these. This was a little mistake, but yeah, both of them ended up netting 500. That's our target. If we risk 250, go for a 2-to-1. Here we lost a little bit more. I don't know, a little bit reckless here, but well, just what it is. So if we happen to make 500 bucks, I think overall we should be back in profit on that account. Yeah, we're only down this year, last month, not this year, right now on the trade day with $270. Yeah, we would be $250 in profit in case our take profit target will be hit. Yeah, and I think actually those losing trades initially, very good start to start the 66 days of consistency, just to show that like I don't just pass the challenge within one sitting. We have one entire month before we get charged again, and I think by that time we should reach the $2,500 profit target. We will see. We will see. Bubbles popping continually. Yep, it was bookmap. TC low through that. Do you have bookmap open at the same time? It can't come from my end really, because my audio output is muted. The culprit. Okay, interesting. It never gone wrong last week. All it takes is one loss to break a good winning streak. Just make sure it doesn't break you. Sorry, I'm moving on the chair, so That's where that noise is coming from. As you know, I'm a voice actor and sound engineer. It's cruise in. You need a stand. I also would recommend another device to plug and line. Yeah, okay. I expected that, like a little transformation device. I don't know. I'm not good with these things. I tried SilverBullet on EuroUSD. Now, EuroUSD really has been going pretty well. We've looked at it on the live stream during London and New York as well. We outlined the same setup basically right here. We had SMT divergence, we shifted structure, we retested the breaker block, and we continued higher. I guess this would be 10 AM, the SilverBullet setup here for the continuation higher of this fair value gap. Yeah, we've been doing pretty well on EU. There are good weeks, there are bad weeks. Like always. Keep in mind that most traders blow their account not after a long losing streak. They most often blow their accounts after a long winning streak because they get overconfident. So just keep that in mind so you don't become a statistic. Because if you're on a losing streak, you watch your risk, you really like, I don't know, you already expect the loss while once you're winning and you see, oh, I had 10 or 14 winning days in a row. Like with ICT Sun, you feel invincible, and it's pretty hard to avoid to feel that way. I don't know, like you just don't think you're actually risking your only profit, or you only profited so far. Eventually, you're gonna get the loss, and then you just have to make sure that you can handle the loss and you don't start trying to overtrade. Just stick to the plan, be consistent. But well done, AppDocs. Are you already funded? Because then I could give you the funded trader role if you want here on the Discord. EU is pushing. We took that buy side liquidity. I think that would be Tuesday's high. NQ continues lower. ES continues lower again as well. Let's take a look at the DXY. Nice movement here. So this would be the time where the DXY and the indices are not really correlated. We can see just an overall sell-off. We're below the midnight level here on our DXY chart. We've been monitoring it ever since we started this live stream right here at 8 AM. We talked about the potential market structure shift. We had the fair value gap. I mean, just based on that, I mean, I won't help you with the executions other than like, yeah, me already trading ES and NQ. If you trade currency pairs, this analysis should be good enough for you to get the point that the DXY and EU is basically, most of the time at least, the same chart, just flipped on its head. This is basically what EU is looking like right now. We took the high on EU already. If we switch over here, no, now it's inverted. Already took the previous day's high, reacted off the breaker block, retested it if we go down to the 15-minute time frame right here, or you take the SilverBullet continuation entry further to the upside after the reversal setup has been put in place. Looking good, made a higher high, pulling back. Our 2-to-1 risk to reward. What price level is it coming in again? We had the previous week's high. Let's see if we can get our close below the midnight on this 5-minute candle. 2-to-1 comes in at 13 points, 4388.25, 4388.25. That's all we're watching right now. 2-to-1, our entry was up in here. And we didn't close below the midnight level, unfortunately. But I think eventually we still get down there from our high of the week setup. You could also partial out of this trade, like said. You don't have to take profit where I take profit. If you don't trade with a intraday based prop firm. So now you're $200 in profit. If you go back to break even, this is already being deducted from your overall trailing drawdown. With trade day and take profit trader, it's being calculated at the end of the day, so I don't really have to worry about it. I set it at 2 to 1. We'll see how that goes. We already moved 9 points. 10 points would be down here. Our target comes in at 4388.25. That's all done. DXY keeps on selling off. Next target would be the Asia low. Here on NQ we consolidate now after taking out the London sell side below the midnight level. We'll see how that looks later during the PM session. On ES we consolidate above the midnight level with SMT divergence. Keep that in mind. If you want to move your stop loss to break even, feel free to do so. Me personally, I won't. My stop loss up here should be fine. We'll see. I keep an eye on it and keep everyone updated on Discord. And if we don't have any other questions, that's gonna be the end for today's live stream. Ah, fair enough. That's very well. Yeah, never change a running system. If you're doing well on ES, just keep it that way, and yeah, there's no reason to change. One asset is more than enough. Some people like Euro US dollar more, especially with a CFD, leverage, blah blah blah. If you like futures more, yeah, then do whatever you want. Trading is very individual, that's cool. If you like to trade Japanese yen pairs more, then yeah, that's the thing to go. If you like gold's volatility, go for that. If you like Nasdaq more than you like MES, then go for Nasdaq. Then you would have already hit your London sell side liquidity target, but your 2 to 1 would still be down here. And for proper risk management, that's really what I would target, because if you always target liquidity, your risk reward will differ every time. I don't know. Depends on your backtesting. We will see. Take profit and stop loss is set. I will keep everyone updated on Discord and also on Twitter. If you want to join our London session live streams, there's a link in the description in the description box below for the live stream access or the VIP membership to get access to the daily London session live streams, where we basically do exactly the same, just during the London session in here. And also access to the trade ideas, like for example the 2022 model short right here during the PM session. That played out just perfectly. Yeah, but other than that, unless you have any more questions before I end the stream, there's not much more to say. The YouTube stream is 1 minute behind, so we have to wait a little bit for that. It's 4:58. Thanks very much, TC. I appreciate you being here. Chat is getting more active. I like that. It's day 3 of 66. Let's see if we hit our profit target. Then we're finally in profit for the first time on the trade day challenge account that we use to track the progress of the 66 days during both London and New York. Yeah, but other than that, bento book. We talked about the take profit trader promotion. We took our trade. Our stop loss take profit is set. Not much more we can do here. We took a last look at the DXY. Obvious drawn liquidity. Asia low, the low of the day. So we got our reversal from the high of the day. Breaker block, market structure shift, fair value gap right here. Continuation to the low of the day with the new day opening gap right here. We're below the midnight. We have PM session sell side already over, or yesterday New York session sell side, London sell side, Asia sell side. Plenty of sell side to take. We fully priced in this daily bearish fair value gap. This could also help us to frame lower prices. Wednesday high of the week reversal. Probability is there that we most often see our high of the week being formed either on Tuesday or Wednesday, high or low of the week, depending if we have a bullish or bearish week. Based on that, I think we should also be looking good for our ES shorts. We know for the first time close below the midnight level. This was a milestone for this short. And like we said, high of the week, low of the week is most of the time formed on either Tuesday or Wednesday. Yesterday we pushed above the previous week's high and previous day's high. Today we pushed above the previous day's high and got the reversal set up. Now we're just sticking to the trade, set and forget. And yeah, come back later and see how it played out. All right, I don't think there are any more questions. The 1 minute period is over. It's 11 a.m. New York local time. That's the end for my trading time. Yeah, let's